Well, it's been a minute since we've had an update on Jamie.
It's been 84 years.
Hi everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with Me. So it's been actually, it's he just started week 30. So it's been about 3 weeks since I've done an update with Jamie. There's been some things that come up. Most of it had to do with me, really. I mean, Jamie was really busy, and you'll find out when he does his little update here in a minute. But the last couple months have been extremely challenging for me and my family. We have let's just say a medical thing going on, with my wife, and we're still working through that. Family comes first, and just over a period of like 2 months, I've kind of dwindled down from doing 3 videos a week down to 2, and then down to 1, and then obviously we went kind of MIA there for about 3 weeks. So but we're back. We're going to be doing at least Jamie's video weekly, and the hope is that after the first of the year I'll be back on a regular schedule. Hopefully everything's resolving with with my wife, but we still have a ways to go on that, folks. So any prayers you want to send our way, that would be more than welcome. So as always, before we hear from Jamie, let's go over Jamie's goals, specifically the goals that he had for the 3 weeks. They're the same goals that he's had probably for about 4 months now, and that's pretty much 20 carbs or less. He lower is even better. His keto macros, he's shooting for 75% fat or more, 5% or less on the carbs, and around 20% on the protein. He should also be targeting some level of fasting, although I've never forced him to do any long fast or anything like that. It's just whatever his comfort level is. So he tends to do mostly OMAD, which you all know is 1 meal a day. And lastly, he has a goal of focusing on a clean style of keto, which we like to call CLEAN KETO. All right, let's hear from Jamie.
Hey everybody, Jamie here. Just wanted to give a quick update. It's been about 3 weeks. I've been really busy at work, working the material handling business, and Christmas time is our busiest time of the year, so we've been really busy. So sorry it's been a few weeks. Overall, I've had 2 weeks where I kept my glucose and everything down below the 100 mark, so I was real happy with that. Thanksgiving, I went a little overboard on enjoying the finer foods in life, so I shot up a little bit, but I did a short fast after that, and my numbers are stabilizing, and now they're real close, just over 100, and heading in the right direction. So I'm recovering from that. Just been trying to maintain my healthy eating habits and continuing on the journey. Like I said, I've lost a few pounds, and look forward to meeting my goal here in the next couple months. So thanks, and we'll keep you updated.
See, I told you he was still around. As you can see, Jamie's still doing really well. He's also been really busy, just like myself, so it kind of worked out. But at the same time, we were communicating. We'll get to that in a minute. So I want to go over his numbers, because his numbers, good or bad, tell us exactly what's going on. So I'm going to look down here at the screen. So Jamie did have actually a little bit of a weight gain, but I'm going to explain that a little further down when I get to my interpretation further in the video here. But we're talking about a 3-week period here, and he's done really well, actually so well that he's still at 73 pounds weight loss for 29 weeks. That is phenomenal. He's also had an average blood glucose over the last 3 weeks of 98 or less. As he mentioned in his video, he did dip up a little, but again, we're talking about the average of 3 weeks here, so still doing really well. He's had average ketones of 0.8, so when you look at it over a period 3 weeks, fantastic. His Dr. Boz ratio for that 3-week period is about 310, not too bad there. His average carbs per days that he ate were 19 carbs. Boom. So he's still doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. Now his macro percents did didn't actually hit the targets as much, and that's probably where he had a little bit of struggles at. But they were 70% fat, 4% carbs, which is good, and 26% protein. So overall, still not really that bad. And during that 3-week period, he did pretty much OMAD most of the time, had a couple of 72-hour fasts in there and one 48-hour fast. Excuse me, folks. And I'm confident that he focused on a clean style of keto, which we like to call keto. So earlier I mentioned whenever we got to the weight, that he had like a 3-pound weight loss, and it really just depends on where you look at, where you look at his numbers and so forth. We, typically we do week to week, so you're looking at the end of the week, and that 3 pounds seems like it's a lot. So, but what I really want to call out that he did really, really well, and then we'll come back to the weight because I really want to tell him how great he did. The one thing, folks, he tracked. That's, for him to be 3 weeks, and we haven't had an update on this, he's tracked the entire time. I can't tell you how important that is, for a lot of us, is that, it keeps us on track, no pun intended, but, it really does make a big difference. Now, I look every day when I put my numbers in, I look at his spreadsheet to see if he put them in. There were some times where he'd be a few days and then they'd show up and so forth, but I knew he was still tracking. So let me tell you about what the 3 weeks look like. So in that 3-week period, he had, well, first of all, he started at 242. So again, don't want to focus on the weight, but we're going to talk about the weight. 242. And then there were numbers where he actually got down into 230s. At 238 was his lowest, and he's up into 240s, and during that 3-week period, he had one number that was 249 the day after Thanksgiving, which he kind of said he indulged a little. I suspect looking at that day, actually I can tell you, looking at that day, that his numbers were flip-flopped, right? He had 44% fat, and these probably won't add up to 100, and then you guys will yell at me. No, I'm just kidding. 44% fat, 9% carbs, and 47% protein. And he had 51 carbs for the day. Overall, I don't think that was really all that bad for that, single day there. So, point being is that most of the time of that 3 weeks, he was in the low 240s. So to me, he never really gained any weight, and that's what he's saying, that he's ultimately lost that weight. And looking at where he is already for week 30, you guys are going to be really surprised. So I think, Jamie, you did a fantastic job, and this is what this is how it is for me right now, being at my goal weight. I've had numbers, at 170, and again, it's not about me, and I've had numbers down to 164. I started, I got all the way down to 160 point something. I can't remember the number off the top of my head. But I've gone on the scale and it said 170. I've gone on and it said 175. I'm sorry, not 175, but like 165. I usually hover between 165 and 170, but the numbers that matter the most to me is when I look at the blood glucose. The same with Jamie. That's why Jamie was, calling out that, he started to dip back up, and that was probably what he was more concerned about than anything. He knows the weight's going to come off, but, when you start to see your insulin spike up, that's when you get a little bit concerned, but he's already seeing it come way back down, so he's doing fine there. I've been on that too. I know on days that if I eat OMAD, my blood glucose is going to be in the 70s when I get up the next day. But if I eat 2 meals or 3 meals the day before, mine is usually between 80 and 95. So not usually 95, but 80 and 90. So it does affect it. But again, we don't want to get caught up in the numbers. Jamie, you're doing fantastic. All right, so what's Jamie's week 30 goals? Well, the same as previous. He's going to, 20 carbs or less. He's going to, target those keto macros or higher, on the ones that are necessary. And then, he's going to do some level of fasting. He's also going to, focus on as much clean keto as possible. All right, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe so you can keto with me, but more importantly, so you can get continued updates on Jamie. Yes, our goal is to have a video each week on Jamie. If something comes up, you know, I may have to, you know, delay that by a week or something, but our goal is, you know, for you to get an update on him each day of the week. So, also, remember, if you got any comments or questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below. Just remember, nobody's perfect. Be a coach and not a critic, and take care, folks. So I just realized that my button was not buttoned here.